everybody, welcome back. This is game number 3 for EPS, and both players tied at 1-1. So we have aTnXLord once again. Here is our blue Protoss player on the top side of the map, and aTnXLord on the right side of the map here as our purple Zerg player. And it looks like he's going to 7-pool again. And aTnXLord is actually went out with his first probe very early and is going to do some scouting. He's right up here at 9 feet, so he's going to probably throw down a pylon. And yep, there's the spawning pool. He's even trying to hide it up here at the top. So aTnXLord repeating his strategy from the last game, which gave him the win. And unfortunately for aTnXLord, it's going to be the very last place he scouts. He does run that probe up here, so he does see that Overlord, and he's going to quickly know that he's going to have to run up here to go scout this position. But he did pull this probe out here at the very smart time, just to look for this Overlord, to catch it before the Overlord had a chance to turn around. So he's going to run up here. He's going to see the 7 pool if he scouts way up there at the top. He's going to know it's coming, and he should be able to prepare for it and fight it off handily. So he does scout it, and there it is. He knows the 7 pool is coming. And he's got really good positioning of his buildings here. I would prefer for this pylon to not be up the front, maybe be in the back, and then just wall off with another building here. So he's going to keep pumping probes and probably throw down another gateway. But he's aware of it. He's even leaving his probe here just to make sure those zerglings are coming. So here are the zerglings. He knows they're coming, and he's probably just going to completely ignore that probe and just run straight by it and go straight to the main. So there we have the forge being placed, and he's actually going for a complete wall off right now. I guess he's just buying some time with this last pylon, but we'll see what goes on here. So he's going for the forge. We'll see how much damage he can do. He's actually going to try and kill that probe. He does manage to pick that probe off, but now he can just focus down, kill these pylons. But as soon as the zealot comes out, he's actually rallying it to the outside, so he really needs to get these zerglings in place to try and surround that zealot. As soon as it spawns, he's going to get a really good positioning on there, and that's not what he wanted to have happen. He really needed to have those zerglings in positions to surround. So he's going to throw down a photon cannon, hopefully before that pylon finishes, but no, he's going to wall off here, but it may be too small here. No, he's even walling it up right there with the pylon, so just going for massive unit wall in right now. Pulling that zealot out too far is getting it surround, but it's buying him enough time just to get this one photon cannon up. All he needs is the one photon cannon to get up, and he does manage to fight that off. So aTnXLord does manage to fight off the 7 pool that actually lost him last game. So this is probably going to start turning into a macro play right here pretty soon. So aTnXLord is probably going to start drone pumping. Looks like he has been that entire time. Harvester count. So we're pretty equal. Blue just caught up here. Just got one more harvester, but very similar. So we just have the initial. Looks like probably about 10 lings coming out. 10 or 8 probably, and then you switched over to drone production. So trying to transfer that early game pressure into mid-game economy. So we'll probably see aTnXLord maybe. Actually, there it is. There's the expansion, throwing down an expansion. He's just probably going to start drone pumping for a while. So this is definitely going to turn into an economy game pretty soon. So aTnXLord is in a much better position than he was last game. And you'll see if he goes for that same type of 4 gateway warp prism harass. They have very close air distances, just like Scrap Station, so it wouldn't surprise me to see a warp prism be used here. Or even maybe push out and then use a warp prism up here and then get in. Or a pylon, sorry, and then come up here and get in. But aTnXLord is just going to happily start droning away for the time being. He knows he's very safe. He's got all his zerglings out front here in front of the base. He knows as soon as anything is about ready to push out. And aTnXLord has just got a cybernetics core going. aTnXLord even has his Overlord flying around. He doesn't have to worry about any type of AA except for this one photon cannon, and that is way down here. So chrono boosting those warp gates leads me to think he's trying to go for some 4 warp gate pressure. So he's running these lings up here just to get an idea of what type of army he's up against, and he just sees those 2 zealots, so he's not too worried. He knows he has more than enough time to start producing drones like crazy. So he is in the lead with 4 more harvesters than his opponent. So there we have the 2 more gateways, and probably he's waiting to put down a 3rd gateway, or sorry, a 4th gateway. So there's the 4th gateway. So he's definitely trying to. aTnXLord is trying to wrap this game up early. I don't think he's going to maybe go for an expand. He's probably going to build up to about 50, 60 food and then go for some type of attack. And aTnXLord just keeping an eye on his opponent. He wants to make sure when an attack is coming, so that way he knows he needs to stop droning. He needs to put up some spine crawlers and build some units to defend against this. So he's getting up a roach warren. He hasn't started teching yet. I'm kind of surprised on that. I'm surprised he hasn't started teching and maybe getting some hydras sooner than he did last game. and just maybe skip the roaches altogether. So he hasn't been missing too many larval injects. He's only at about 28 energy, so he's been doing pretty good there, even getting a second queen out right now. Hasn't put up a second gas. Actually, he's working on a second gas down here. And we had those couple zerglings, actually, half of them get picked off and pushing out. So it looks like this 4 warp gate is about ready to kick into gear. And actually, no, he's going a 4 warp gate into an expansion. He's up to 2 gas, pretty standard. Warping in a couple stalkers. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually put some pressure on right now. iNsoLence knows that he only saw 6 or 7 lings, and he has a very big army advantage right now. So he's attacking. And aTnXLord feeling the pressure, he sees the attack coming, he's like, okay, I need to build some units. He built 10 or so lings, and he's building, looks like 3 or 4 roaches, even throwing down 2 spine crawlers here in the back. And this could actually do a lot of damage to aTnXLord if iNsoLence plays this correctly. Throwing down a warp pylon, looks like he's going to start warping some units and putting on some pressure here to aTnXLord. aTnXLord really needs to throw down, I think, 2 more spine crawlers because he has quite a few lings and just a handful of roaches, but I don't know, it's going to be come pretty close because of those sentries. If he can have some really nice force fields, he can really slaughter that army. So he's up to about 51 food. Those 2 spine crawlers are finished up here in the back, but he really needs them, I think, maybe out a little bit further. Because I don't think the Protoss player is going to come this far back in here to fight. He can easily just walk around here and then start killing stuff, or maybe even kill that hatchery. But iNsoLence is thinking, you know what, I don't want to attack yet. I'm going to get some more units, maybe even get an attack upgrade. Hasn't started that yet, but I think it would be a pretty smart idea. So iNsoLence was kind of just testing the waters there. He didn't actually attack, but excuse me, I got to take a drink of water. Oh man, I'm out of water. Anyway, so iNsoLence, I would say he maybe thought about attacking, threw down a pylon, didn't attack, but even though he didn't attack, he did force aTnXLord to spend all of this larva. All this money could have been spent on drones, could have been spent on an expansion, but just the act of maybe not necessarily a fake attack, but just the thought of, oh no, I might get attacked, forces aTnXLord into spending all that money on making drones, or sorry, making zerglings and making roaches when he would rather prefer to be droning and getting expansion and teching. So there's the hydralisk den is finished. He just got that glue reconstitution upgrade, and we'll probably see him start pumping out some hydras here in a second. But he didn't do any damage, but I think iNsoLence, that was a pretty smart move. Just even just the thought of an attack slowed down the macro of aTnXLord. So I'll just speed this up here for a second. We have an observer coming out. It looks like it's going to go over here and scout, and he's going to know he's up against some roach hydra play. We're on 3, or actually 4 warp gates still in the robotics facility. Whoops. Just getting a little too click happy right there. So getting out some immortals, throwing down the robo facility, and even that robotics bay. So the 3rd is almost done for aTnXLord, and quite a big army. So we're got about 120 food versus 84 food. So our Zerg player well in the lead. Even has a little Zergling up here in the base, or sorry, a changeling, completely walled off. So he really can't get anything in here to help it. Actually, I think that is not walled off. Sorry, I think he can actually slip through right there. So it looks like we're going to have an attack here from aTnXLord. He's got Hydra, Roach, Ling,